From the UCLA Labor Center and KPFK, you're listening to Rework. I'm Stephanie Ritopper.
And I'm Saba Wahid. It's early Saturday morning, and we're heading down to the garment district. In this part of town, some streets are dedicated just to selling fabric. Store after store has reams of colorful fabric of all kinds. Another street is dedicated to selling flowers. One street sells just various types of piñatas and party supplies. When we see the storefronts lined with mannequins, or at least mannequin butts, wearing the latest fashions, that's when we know we've reached the heart of Los Angeles' garment district. Among the storefronts and wide boulevards are the alleys. The area we're walking through now is known for its wholesale and retail clothing shops. In Spanish, those are los callejones, or the alleyways. We turn off the main road into the most famous of the alleys, Santee Alley. With all the sounds and people walking around, it almost feels like a street party. If that street party was a bunch of people looking for cheap clothing.
How much money are you going to spend today, do you think?
No idea. $30. Like $30 or more.
What's your maximum? What's like your limit? Like
50, yeah, $50.
What do you think you can get for $50?
I think you could get like shirts, some sweaters. Yeah.
How many of how many?
Like two of each.
2 sweaters, 2 shoes,
Shirts, yeah, and 2 shirts.
and 2 shoes?
Maybe. Unless they're in special.
As we walk through the alleys, retailers standing by shop entrances call out to customers to lure us inside. One lady has a small stand where she sells bubble guns and mechanical toys. This is just the first step into the garment district. It's a place where there is so much unseen behind the bustling streets. In many ways, understanding the garment district is key to understanding LA and many other places like it across the country. In an economy where manufacturing is on the decline, it tells us a lot about the manufacturing that's left. It's a retail center for people looking for a bargain, but it also reveals a lot about immigrant life in LA. In today's episode of Rework, we take a journey through Los Callejones, the alleyways of Los Angeles.
There's no question that the garment district is a center for entrepreneurship. All you need to do is look around to see shops and stands opening. You can see the hunger for opportunity and business owners' dreams of success. One person I talked to is a young woman who owns her own makeup stand. It's really just a few shelves at the entrance to one of the small retail clothing shops. She stands in front. Her makeup is done perfectly. She's wearing a black makeup tool belt around her waist, and she's quick to answer any questions from people walking by. She's got all brands of makeup on the shelves and big ideas about why she's out here.
The reason why I'm working here is because I'm hustling. You know, people have to find a way to survive, and California is expensive, and I have my own place. Have had my own place since I was 18, so my mom got me into this, and it's really good money. It's a little risky and stuff, but it's good money.
What does it take to set up a stand here? Like, how do you even go about that?
Money, investment, you know, risk. Maybe you lose, maybe you win, and it depends on your luck. I also sell Mary Kay. I sell more Mary Kay than Mac. I'm in the company as well, and I do that as a side job as well. Because when I do quinceañeras, I don't know how you call them in English, but when I do that, I do their makeup and I use the Mary Kay and I sell that, and I'm almost in my Cadillac. I almost won the car.
People from all walks of life visit the alleyways. We ran into an elderly Korean woman passing out religious flyers who spoke in Spanish to convince people to join the church. Another business owner, a Middle Eastern cafe owner, adapts his food for diverse customers.
Menu, actually, we have Mexican people and Middle Eastern people here. The vendors are mostly Middle Eastern. The customers are mostly Spanish. So I combine these two as a Persian and Mexican food together, so I can make everybody happy here.
For people who work in the garment district, the constant hustle and bustle of the district rubs off. Up until a few years ago, a fashion cycle lasted about 3 months as the seasons changed. Now, the fashion cycle is constant, and the demand for new styles doesn't end. Something we see on the runway can be in stores within just a couple weeks. Small businesses, especially in the garment district, turn over styles quickly to keep regular customers. I talked to Jennifer, who works at a women's clothing store.
Well, I mean, the thing is that I do other different types of work too, you know. I also had worked in a shoe store, you know, clothing store. Sometimes there's some stores that they don't do good, so they end up closing down. So they end up moving, so you have to look for the next business, you know. So that's why it's important to always try to have our best to have customers in the store all the time. Or try our best to always like sell to customers, but then again give them good customer service, you know. You make them happy, you know, and then they'll go ahead and come back, you know, and buy more.
Jennifer has worked in the garment district since she was 16, but has hopped around from shop to shop. It just goes to show that in the garment district, as quickly as businesses open, they can also close up shop. It's also a place that's fast-moving, a place for great creativity, great dreams, and also great risk.
We move past the sales racks and crowds and enter into a building behind the alleyways onto the second floor. The hallway is plain, neglected, with closed doors and fluorescent lights buzzing above. Behind the doors, you can hear the constant hum of sewing machines and garment presses. Inside the barren industrial rooms are rows of workers cutting, sewing, ironing, and assembling garments. LA used to have a thriving manufacturing industry, but now much of that work is gone. Now the garment industry is the second largest manufacturing employer in Los Angeles, behind producing transportation equipment. Irma has been working in the garment district for over 30 years. She migrated here on her own, leaving behind her 4 sons in Mexico. Right now we're walking with her in the garment district.
Como si aquí viviera, porque aquí vivo más que nada.
I know the streets by heart. It's if I live here because I spend more time here than anywhere else. If you work here, you only go home to sleep. You leave early in the morning and you get home late at night. They say the stores are where gabachos come to shop. They come here because it's affordable. Supposedly it's cheaper. Yes, there are a lot of people that come here to shop to make a living.
Though Irma started out doing sewing, as she's gotten older, she's transitioned to doing packaging and shipping, inspecting clothing before it goes out.
I work in the clothes inspection. I check for any defects that the clothes have. I fold them, and if it goes in the bag, I place it in the bag. The rest are in charge of sewing and finishing the pieces.
We get to the corner of Pico and Maple, and she points to a huge building on the corner. It's a majestic brick building over 10 stories high that looks like it may have seen its heyday at the turn of the century. The years and city air have darkened it, and now every window in the building reveals clues that each level houses garment factories. Irma used to work at a factory inside.
Inside is, machines and sometimes a lot of trash, papers that come from the job, you know. In the evening, they take out tons of trash. And sometimes you walk into the trash, I tell you. I would love for television channel to come and see the conditions of these factories. Yeah, it's really hot sometimes. There isn't even a fan to cool off. Yes, I tell you, this is how people make a living, and a bits and pieces. Well, here there are a lot of stores and tons of clothing stores where, here in the alleys. Below there are stores and above there are the factories, sweatshops. Basically, slaves up there.
Many people may think of China and Bangladesh when they think of people sewing our clothing. But Los Angeles has developed a niche market in women's fashion for trendy, almost disposable clothing known as fast fashion. Today, over 45,000 workers, mostly Latino and Asian immigrants, sew garments right here in LA. These workers work long hours, often for low wages. Usually, workers don't make an hourly rate. Instead, they work on what's called a piece rate, earning cents on the dollar for every piece they produce. The industry operates in this way to maximize how quickly and cheaply clothes can get out the door. Once a style hits the catwalk, retailers clamor to get it into the stores as soon as possible. These retailers, especially the larger ones, are at the top of the production pyramid, and they put pressure on manufacturers to produce those garments quickly and cheaply. Those apparel manufacturers, in turn, contract out most of their production to small contractors. Those are the ones who hire the garment workers. The industry is notorious for being cutthroat, where thousands of small factories compete for those contracts. To win the bid, they must work with very small profit margins. The pressure is immense to slash workers' wages and keep them in substandard working conditions. And for workers, it's hard to speak up because these employers can easily replace them. Like the clothes they are making, they become disposable.
Right now, we are here headed to Pico and Maple. When I came to work here, I wasn't very welcome. The building was really dirty, and the shops, it was a mess everywhere. Well, I was able to get the boss to fix up at least a little bit. At least I was able to get him to change the microwave. It was so dirty that it was ready to be thrown away. That was at least one change I was able to make. I tried to tell them, to my coworkers, to raise their voices, that we need to defend ourselves and that we should try to get things to change at work for our health more than anything, because while we're getting asthma, back pain, our lives are at stake.
Back on the main streets, we enter another big industrial building and walk up to the second floor. We walk down a cavernous and fluorescent-lit hallway where our words echo off the walls, passing garment factories and storage facilities along the way. At the end of the hallway, we find the Garment Worker Center, a workers' rights organization dedicated to organizing garment workers in Los Angeles. There's a huge mural on the wall that says Costureros Unidos, Garment Workers United. Waiting in the office for us is Eulalia. She's there with her 2 little sons who are running around while we talk. She's a garment worker and a mother of 4. She came to the U.S. from Guatemala when she was 18. When she first arrived in the U.S., so many things took getting used to, including the food.
Well, for me, when I arrived here, it was hard. I spent a month without eating because I didn't like the food here in the United States. I was used to eating food from Guatemala, beans, vegetables. Over there, it has so much flavor. Over here, you buy vegetables and they just don't have the same flavor. It doesn't taste the same. So I decided, well, I'm not going to eat.
Then she found Maruchan soup, instant ramen packets.
Over there in Guatemala, Maruchan soup, we can buy it. Sometimes you can find it, but it is rare. And for me, Maruchan soup is really good. I told myself, well, I'm here. I made it to a place where Maruchan soup is everywhere, and I like it. But then I started to get tired of eating it so much.
So Eulalia began working as a garment worker in downtown Los Angeles. At first, she didn't even know how to use a sewing machine. She grew up in a very rural part of Guatemala, where most people worked the land for a living. She had to learn everything, even how to thread the sewing machine. Since she worked on the piece rate, the first week she only took home $64. But she kept at it, motivated by the thought of making a living for her daughters. She started to get faster. Then, in 2012, after working 2 full weeks, the company she was with refused to pay her the money she was owed. She was shocked and devastated and decided to quit. But after she quit, she kept thinking about the money they owed her. After some conversations with friends, she realized this wasn't right. She decided to go back to her boss and ask him for the money.
And the manager told me, you know what? He told me, you can't come in here because you no longer work here. Why not? I told him. I worked and you're not paying me. Leave. Get out the door right now, he told me. I went to ask like 3 times by myself, and maybe because I am a woman or because I was alone or who knows. Each time he told me, no, you can't come in, leave. Every time he found another excuse to tell me that he didn't want to see me in the factory, to stop wasting his time.
Eulalia talked to her brother about what had happened. She wanted to file a formal complaint with the California Labor Commissioner, but her brother thought that if they went together, her old boss would listen.
fue mi hermano conmigo y el manager quiso golpear mi hermano.
And my brother went with me, and the manager wanted to hit my brother in the shop. He knew that the law would be on his side because my brother doesn't work there, and he could say he's causing problems. So my brother left, and I was leaving through the door. The manager's sister got there and she grabbed me. She scratched me. She hurt me. At first, she called me stupid Guatemalan. She said, to get to the United States, you have to cross 2 borders. So, okay, I'm from Guatemala, but that's not relevant because she's undocumented too. I am too. So I told her, you know what? You don't have papers either. That's why you're working here with me.
Eulalia's boss called the police. When they arrived on the scene, they turned to Eulalia. They accused her of instigating a fight and started to write up a citation. And just like that, the police handcuffed Eulalia and showed her to the back of the police car. Even though Eulalia's boss was the one who had broken the law by not paying her, it was Eulalia who ended up in jail. Her youngest son was a baby at the time, at home with the babysitter.
And I asked the police, I have my baby. What I'm going to do? What's going to happen with my son? The police told me, don't worry, you're only going to be in jail 2 or 3 hours. But it's not true. I went in on Friday afternoon and got out on Sunday morning. My son stayed with the babysitter without her knowing what had happened, only that I didn't come home.
Going to jail was frightening for Eulalia, who had never had this kind of run-in before with the law.
When I arrived, they fingerprinted me. They took a picture of me. They didn't ask for papers, but they locked me up in a room where many people were in jail for different things, for drugs, for fighting. And it's dirty. It's not clean. I stayed there for about 2-3 hours. There until they transferred me to another room in which I was by myself. It was closed, it was very cold. The whole time the light is on day and night. You don't even know what time to eat or what time to sleep. I remember that there was a public telephone and I called my son's father and told him I'm going to eat. I asked him, what time is it? It turns out they were giving me food at 2 in the morning. I didn't know what time it was because I was locked up.
She went in on a Friday afternoon without any idea of when she would get out. Each night she went to sleep without knowing how her family was or even if she would get deported. Finally, on Sunday morning, the station released her. Unfortunately, Eulalia's story is not unique. In Los Angeles, the garment industry ranks the worst in stealing wages, underpaying, and having poor health and safety conditions. Over half of garment workers don't make minimum wage, and 93% never receive overtime pay. There are laws on the books to prevent this. For example, AB 633 says that retailers and manufacturers are responsible for the factory working conditions, even if they subcontract. But the truth is that this is very hard to enforce. Oftentimes, workers won't complain because they've seen what happens to fellow workers when they speak up. Even in the best case scenario, where workers report wage theft violations to the California Labor Commissioner, most never recover their stolen wages. Many times, garment companies quickly close down and open up under another name. For me, one of the things I found the most striking about talking with Eulalia is the way that she talked about her 2 daughters. They're both still in Guatemala. One daughter is 11 years old and the other is 10. When she talks about them, you can hear her voice shaking.
What I'm doing is working, sitting at a sewing machine every day to give my daughters a better future, so that they can study, so that they can buy clothes, so that they won't feel bad like I do. One time my daughter, the oldest one, told me, Mom, when are you coming back to us? And I told her, I can't go back. I told them that because, well, I can't return because I don't have papers. It's okay, she told me, it's okay. What we want is for you to fight for us. Send us money. One day, I will be able to see my daughters. I set out with going for a week to see them. If that were possible, to see them and hug them. If only it were possible to come back again.
When Eulalia talks with them, she knows that they have grand ideas about her life in the U.S. They watch TV and they hear the stories, so they think Los Angeles is a place full of rich people where people can buy new outfits every day.
I tell them, here in the United States, I'm not living a luxurious lifestyle. I don't have much money, and it's not like every day I go out and buy new clothes, because maybe they think, wow, my mom is dressed very nice over there, or my mom has a lot of money. With 30 quetzales, I dress myself. But when I send money for clothes, I have to send $400, $500 because they wear much nicer clothing than I do. They use traditional clothing. You are in the United States and you eat meat every day, my mom tells me. But you get bored of that kind of food, I tell them. Over there you can work, plant, and grow your food. You have everything. Everywhere you go, a neighbor will offer you a cup of coffee. A neighbor will give you something. Here, nothing. I say because it's true. Here, no one is going to give you anything. No one. Even if you are dying of hunger. Even if you say, oh, I have no money. Where could I visit someone who will share a cup of coffee or some food?
We return now to Irma, the garment worker we spoke with earlier in the show. 10 years ago, Irma had lost hope. One day at work, her boss cornered her and sexually assaulted her. It was the last straw, and she didn't know what to do. She left and went to the bus stop, crying. There, an organizer from the Garment Worker Center approached her.
They saw me crying at the bus stop and asked me, what's going on? I told them that I was having problems. I didn't know what to do. I was working all that I could. The man said he could take me somewhere where they could help me. That's how he brought me here, and I met that Delia. She told me, usually we don't take this type of cases here, but we will help you. We will help you to stand up for yourself and help you so that you're not afraid. And then I started to gain courage, and now I do stand up for myself.
The Garment Worker Center is a place where workers can go to get help. The organizers train people on health and safety laws and empower workers to demand their stolen wages. In an industry where it's so hard to speak up, people start to get the courage to speak up and band together to tell their stories. Irma now does more than just stand up for herself. She also encourages others to fight for their rights.
Well, we don't have many other options but to take these jobs. The most we can do is try. Well, we try to stand up for ourselves and not to be humiliated or let the boss kick us around. It's the only thing we can do because we are worth a lot. Because without us, they don't have a business.
It might seem hard to imagine a different way of working in the garment district, but it's not that far out of reach. Not too long ago, Irma had a job in the garment district, a good job. In fact, she worked there for 20 years.
We work on Santee Alley. Afterwards, we moved to Soto. But we always had the same boss. Yeah, that boss was very good. He was one of the kind, and he was very good. Then he died, and I have to look for a new place to work. And to this day, I haven't been able to find a job that's very good. I like that we could work calmly. There wasn't any screaming or mistreatments. We could do what we wanted. They used to joke that he didn't tell us what to do, that we told him what to do. Yeah, it was a nice experience. We never needed anything when we worked with him. We always had what we needed.
It could be this way. We step back out into the street and look around. We're a part of this place. We buy the clothes that the workers in these alleys make. It's hard to speak up, but people are building up the courage. Workers are learning their rights, confronting their bosses, and demanding better labor policy.
There's a way for the garment district to be the place where the industry can thrive and where people can feel proud to be a part of it.
Thanks so much to everyone for sharing their stories. And guess what? Now we want to hear your stories. Call this number and answer this question. Why do you care about who makes your clothes? 1-888-821-7563. And I'm serious, we really want to hear from you. Give us a call and tell us, why do you care about who makes your clothes? 1-888-821-7563. Again, that's 1-888-821-7563. You can also listen to other people's stories at bit.ly/garment stories. Again, that's bit.ly/garment stories. Special thanks to the Garment Workers Center and staff members Mar Martinez and Marisa Nuncio. To find out more about the Garment Workers Center, visit them at garmentworkerscenter.org. We would also like to thank the garment workers that participated in our storytelling workshop and told their stories. You're listening to Rework, a program of the UCLA Labor Center and KPFK. This episode of Rework was made possible with support from Calhumanities, a nonprofit partner of the National Endowment for the Humanities. Visit calhum.org. This show was produced by Stephanie Retapper, Saba Wahid, Pedro Joel Espinosa, Tyler Millis, Diana Valenzuela, Reina Orellana, Jessica Garcia, Crystal Zamora, Vanessa Moreno, and Veronica Castro. Voiceover dubbing by Blanca Soto and Rebecca San Juan Aparicio. Music supervision by Francisco Garcia Nava. Visit our website at reworkradio.org or visit us on Facebook at /reworkradio. You can also tweet your reactions to the show to @rework_radio or send us an email at rework@irle.ucla.edu.
Till next time, rethink, rework.